Your phone bill, 25 cents a minute, $10 monthly fee, 80 minutes of calls. How much do you owe? So how do you figure out your bill? Each minute costs 25 cents. That's your rate. Multiply that by how long you talked. Rate times minutes. Then the $10 fee gets added on top no matter what. 25 cents times 80 minutes, that's $20. Plus the $10 fee, $30. That's your bill. 25 cents a minute. Doesn't matter if it's your first minute or your 80th, it's always the same amount. That constant rate is what we call M. And those 80 minutes? That's just this month. Next month could be totally different. It's the thing that changes, and we call it X. Now that $10 fee. You pay it even if you never pick up the phone. It's your starting value, and we call it B. Put it all together. F of x equals mx plus b. Rate times the thing that changes, plus what you start with. That's a linear function. Watch what happens when x changes. 40 minutes instead of 80, that's $20. 10 minutes, $12.50. And 0 minutes, still $10. B is always there. It's what you start with, before anything changes. X is what you choose. F of x is what you get back. Plug in 0, $10. 20, 15, 40, 60, 80. Every time x goes up by 20, the cost jumps $5. Every single time. That constant jump? That's M doing its job. Each pair is a point. 0 and 10, 20 and 15, 40 and 20, 60 and 25, 80 and 30. Connect them. Straight line. That's why it's called a linear function. See where the line crosses the vertical axis? Right at 10. That's B, your starting value. Mathematicians call it the y-intercept. How steep is this line? Go up 5 over 20. That ratio is M, the rate. We call it the slope. Rise over run. This line doesn't stop at 80 minutes. What about 100? Follow it up and you land at $35. The line already knows every answer. But here's where it gets useful. You've got $40 and you can't go over. How many minutes can you talk? Find 40 on the cost side, trace across to the line, drop down. 120 minutes, that's your budget. Forward or backward, same equation. So look at what we just did. We took a phone bill and turned it into a formula. F of x equals 0.25x plus 10. The rate never changes. That's what keeps the line straight. B, the starting value, is where it all begins. And that line holds every answer you'll ever need. One equation, infinite answers. That's a linear function. Chapter 2, Slope. Here are 2 points. 1, 2, and 4. 6. How steep is the line between them? Drop down from 6 to 2. That's 4, the rise. Then across, 1 to 4. That's 3, the run. Rise over run, 4/3. That's M. And here's the thing. What you just counted is the formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But here's the easy mistake to make. Subtract the right way and you get 4/3, climbing. Flip the order though and you get negative 4/3. Same number, wrong sign. And that one flip turns a climbing line into a falling one. Here's the fix. Pick 1 point, subtract the same way top and bottom. Y on top, x on bottom. Rise over run. Always. So positive 4/3. The line climbs, up and to the right. Make the slope negative. Now each step right takes you down, so it falls. So the sign sets the direction. Plus climbs up, minus heads down. So what about the size of the number? 1/2. Barely rising, almost flat. Now make it 1. That's 45 degrees. Make it 2, and it's steeper. 4, nearly vertical. And that's the rule. Bigger number, steeper line. Go back to 1/2. See how gentle it looks next to 4? Same idea on the negative side. Negative 1/2, a gentle fall. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 4. Almost straight down. The sign tells you direction. The size tells you steepness. Chapter 3, Graphing. You've got your equation, and now you want to draw its line. But first, a warning about the trap most people fall into. People see a slope of 2 and plot a dot at 2. But the slope isn't a place on the axis, it's a direction. So here's the recipe, and it's really just 2 steps. First, plot the y-intercept, that's b, where the line crosses the vertical axis. Step 2. From that point, you simply walk the slope, rise over run, exactly the way we counted before. Let's try f of x equals 2x plus 3. The b is 3, so our first dot lands at 0, 3. The slope is 2, up 2, over 1. So from 0, 3, we climb to 1, 5. But why up 2 and over 1? Because 2 means 2 over 1, the change in y over the change in x. 1 across, 2 up. Then once more, up 2, over 1, to 2, 7. Connect the dots, and there's your line. And if you want to be sure, plug in 3, you get 9. So 3, 9 should sit right on the line. Now there's another way to the very same line. Instead of walking the slope, just pick 2 x values. F of 0 is 3, and f of 1 is 5. Plot those 2 points, 0, 3, and 1, 5, and draw straight through them. Same line, a different path to it. But what if the slope turns negative? Let's graph negative 1/2 x plus 4. The intercept is 4, so we start at 0, 4. The 1/2 is still rise over run, but the minus flips it. So instead of up, we step down 1 and over 2 to 2, 3. Step the same way again, down 1, over 2, and we reach 4, 2. Connect them and the whole line falls. So it's the same recipe either way. A positive slope walks you up the page, and a negative one walks you down. Now let's flip the whole thing around. Say I hand you just a line, with no equation at all. Could you find it? Start with the easy part. Where does the line cross the vertical axis? Right at 1, so b is 1. Then count the slope. Rise over run, just like before. It climbs 3 and runs 1. 3 over 1, which is 3. Drop them into y equals mx plus b. 3 for m, 1 for b, and there is your line, y equals 3x plus 1. So you can go from equation to graph, and from graph to equation. Once you can do both, a line holds no secrets. Chapter 4. Finding the equation. No line drawn for you this time, just 2 points, 1, 2, and 4, 6. Can you find the equation of the line that runs through them? It sounds hard, but it's really just 2 steps. Find the slope, then fill in a template. Step 1 is the slope, and we already know how to do this. Rise over run. 6 minus 2 on top, 4 minus 1 on the bottom. 4 over 3, that's m. But here's the easy mistake. If you subtract the y values in one order and the x values in the other order, the sign comes out wrong. So always subtract in the same order, top and bottom. Same point first, same point second, and the sign takes care of itself. Step 2, and this is where it gets useful. There's a template called point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All you do is pick one of your points and fill in the numbers. We'll use 1, 2. So y1 is 2 and x1 is 1. And m is the 4/3 we just found. And that's already the equation, point-slope form. You have the slope and a point, and you're done. But most teachers want slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So you need to distribute. And here's where people make the mistake. You multiply 4/3 through the whole thing inside the parentheses. 4/3 times x, and 4/3 times negative 1. That second part isn't negative 1, it's negative 4/3. You have to multiply the fraction through, not just keep the minus sign. Now add 2 to both sides to get y alone. 2 is the same as 6/3, so negative 4/3 plus 6/3 gives you 2/3. Y equals 4/3 x plus 2/3. That's slope-intercept form. The slope is right there, and so is the y-intercept. Look at what you just did. 2 dots on an empty screen. And from them, you got the slope, the equation, and the graph. All from 2 points. But we use 2 different forms to get here, and people mix them up. So here's how to keep them straight. Point-slope is for building. When you have a point and a slope, and you need to make the equation, that's the one you use. Slope-intercept is for reading. slope and y-intercept, visible right away. Same line, two forms, and you can always convert from one to the other. Two equations in front of you, y equals 3x plus 1 and y equals 3x minus 5. Do these two lines ever cross? Look at the slopes. The first one is 3, and the second one, also 3. Same rate, which means the gap between them never closes. They run side by side forever, and that's what parallel means. Same slope, different starting point. The rule is m1 equals m2, and when you see that, the lines never meet. Now take that first line, y equals 3x plus 1, and put it next to a new one, y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. These two cross, and they don't just cross anywhere. They meet at a perfect right angle, 90 degrees. So what's special about slopes 3 and negative 1/3? Here's the part that matters. You take 3, flip the fraction to get 1/3, and then flip the sign to make it negative. And this is where people get it wrong. They flip to 1/3, but forget the negative. 1/3 is wrong. The correct perpendicular slope is negative 1/3. Flip the fraction, and flip the sign. And here's how you can always check. Multiply the two slopes together. 3 times negative 1/3 equals negative 1. If the product is negative 1, the lines are perpendicular. That's the test. m1 times m2 equals negative 1. So now you've got two rules, and every pair of lines falls into one of three cases. Same slope, parallel, they never meet. Product equals negative 1? Perpendicular, they meet at 90 degrees. And if the slopes don't match and the product isn't negative 1, the lines cross but not at a right angle, that's neither. Try it. 2 times negative 1/2. That's negative 1, so those lines are perpendicular. But 2 times 3? That's 6. Not negative 1, and the slopes aren't equal either. So that pair is neither. Don't guess which one it is. Calculate. Check both tests, and the answer is always clear. 5 chapters of tools: slope, intercept, point slope, parallel, perpendicular. 2 problems will test every one. Get both right, and you own every straight line you'll ever meet. Problem A. 2 points. 2, 1, and 8, 5. Find the slope, right point slope, convert to slope-intercept, then plot the line. Now look at this line, no equation given. Read slope and intercept, write the equation, and classify. Part F. Classify 4x minus 6y equals 3. Part G. Perpendicular through 4, 7. Pause and try all 7. Come back when you're ready. Rise over run, just like before. 5 minus 1 is 4, and 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 over 6 reduces to 2/3. Positive, so the line goes up. We use the point 2, 1. Point slope gives y minus 1 equals 2/3 times x minus 2. To get slope-intercept, distribute the 2/3. That gives 2/3 x minus 4/3. Add 1 to both signs. 1 equals 3/3, and y equals 2/3 x minus 1/3. Start at the y-intercept, negative 1/3, just below 0. Now go up 2, that's the rise. Then write 3, there's the second point. Draw the line, it goes right through both given points. Now the second graph, it crosses the y-axis at 2, so b equals 2. It goes down 2 and right 2, negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. That gives y equals negative x plus 2. Parallel? 2/3 and negative 1 aren't equal. No. Perpendicular? 2/3 times negative 1 is negative 2/3, not negative 1. Neither. 4x minus 6y equals 3. The slope isn't visible in that form, so we need to rearrange first. Subtract 4x, divide by negative 6. Y equals 2/3 x minus 1/2. Same slope, 2/3, parallel. We need a perpendicular through 4, 7. Flip 2/3 to 3/2, but the sign changes too, negative 3/2. 2/3 times negative 3/2. Negative 1, confirmed. Y minus 7 equals negative 3/2 times x minus 4. Distribute, add 7. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 13. Problem B. A taxi charges $3.50 up front plus $1.25 per kilometer. Write f of x, then graph it. What do slope and intercept mean? 10 kilometers, how much? Receipt says $22.50, how far? Last part. A second company charges $5 flat, same rate. Parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Pause and try it. 6 parts, everything you've learned. $1.25 per kilometer, $3.50 flat. So f of x equals 1.25x plus $3.50. Start at $3.50 on the y-axis, that's the flat fee. Go up 1.25 for the rise, then write 1. Draw the line, the fare for any distance. Each kilometer adds $1.25, that's the slope. $3.50 is what you pay before the taxi moves. 10 kilometers? 1.25 times 10 is $12.50, plus $3.50, that's $16. The receipt says $22.50. Subtract $3.50, that leaves $19. Divide by 1.25, x equals 15.2 kilometers. Same rate, 125. So g of x equals 1.25x plus 5. Same slope, different start. That's parallel. Always $1.50 apart, no matter how far. 2 problems. Every skill: slope, intercept, point slope, graphing, parallel, perpendicular, forward, reverse, and the traps. From that first phone bill to here, you own the straight line. 5 chapters, and look at what you can do now. You started with f of x equals mx plus b, a rate, a starting value, and a straight line. Then you learned to measure that rate. Slope equals rise over run. You learned to draw the line from its equation, and to write the equation from just 2 points using point-slope form. And now you can tell whether 2 lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither, just from their slopes. Remember that phone bill from the very start? 25 cents a minute, $10 fee, 80 minutes. F of 80 equals 0.25 times 80 plus 10 equals $30. A straight line gave you the answer. But every one of these tools works because the rate never changes. What happens when the rate does change? When m is different at every point? The line curves. And that's a whole new kind of function. But that's next.